Let's talk cell phones in prison. Let's get into it. Cell phones in prison are a huge problem, and it's a thing that can get somebody killed. You see all these videos of people having cell phones in prison, and they're taping or they're videoing them doing illegal acts, fighting, um, exercising, and you wonder, how is this happening? How is this possibly happening in a prison? Prisons are supposed to be secure. Prison have hundreds of correctional officers. They have cameras. They have all kinds of things, metal detectors, scanners, whenever people come into the institutions. So how are these cell phones getting into the prison? Well, cell phones in prisons are a huge economic instrument. Inmates get compromised officers and pay them a lot of money to smuggle cell phones in. Also, they smuggle cell phones in by putting them in their prison suitcase. And for anybody that doesn't know what a prison suitcase is, they put them up inside them. A lot of times, in a lot of these prisons, people will drive by and they'll toss a cell phone over the fence, and inmates out in the yard will get them, and then they'll actually put them up inside each other, up inside themselves, and get them into prisons that way. The other way they do it is they get an officer and they compromise the officer and pay him off. Let's say you got an officer working your dorm or your cell unit, and you notice that you develop a rapport with this person. You do start to learn things about them, and you find out that maybe that officer, male or female, is having financial trouble, and you offer them a set amount of money to bring a cell phone in. They smuggle the phone in. It's usually a burner phone, like a prepaid phone of some type that can be thrown away, and it's not really, it's hard to track them. So those are the ways that the phones get in the institution, and once they get into the institution, then it becomes a whole other issue of people having to pay to use them. You develop that black market of that. If you get caught with a cell phone, you're going to do a lot of time in the hole. You're going to do, depends on what state, if it's state or federal prison, what the punishment is going to be. You're going to probably lose good time. You're going to go in the hole for a long time, and and they may extend your time in the hole for a longer period of time if they can for security reasons. So it looks cool, or looks interesting for people to watch these videos, but I can tell you it's very dangerous and get people hurt. Not only can it get the inmate hurt, it can get staff hurt. Because when you have a cell phone in the institution, you're talking about numerous security breaches that can happen. You're talking about them filming security protocols. You're talking about all kinds of stuff that can happen. But for the sheer stupidity of having a cell phone in a prison, you're videotaping evidence for later prosecutions or later punishment of yourself. So if you're one of those guys that have a cell phone in there, generally a lot of these things go up in some type of cloud somewhere, and they're retrievable. So if you're a smart inmate, if you're a smart convict, you're not going to videotape your crimes. Or you may be Dylan Dumbass, who is the guy that says, I don't care if I get caught, I get caught. And you may like prison. You might like doing more time. I don't know. But the whole prison genre that goes around videotaping all these things that you're doing in prison, it's just like social media or anything else. If you're videotaping crimes, if you're videotaping you doing something you're not supposed to do, it makes it pretty easy for you to get prosecuted and found guilty. Because not only are you videotaping your crime, you're providing the evidence to the people that's going to punish you. So for me, I think it's pretty silly to do those things, but teach his own. If you're that guy that likes to be the the TikTok star and TikTok famous and social media famous, and you get caught, and it costs you good time, it costs you from going out the street, then that's on you. You're young and dumb. Sooner or later, you'll figure it out. But until next time, always stay on the other side of the cell.